Hey everybody, welcome to this edition of Televasing. Today I'm with Alex Petrulli, Melissa Slaughter, and Tony Baccia, and we're going to be talking about the top 5 shows if you're from the 1970s. What I did, each one of these guys came up with 5 shows that they thought should be in this list, and so we'll try to make those 15 and condense it into 5. So let's go ahead around the table. Cody.
Alright, my top 5 shows have to be Dallas, That 70s Show, Vinyl, Fargo, and Saturday Night Live.
And Melissa?
My shows are The Brady Bunch, The Jeffersons, Happy Days, The Muppets, and The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
And Alex.
Mine are All in the Family, Brady Bunch, Charlie's Angels, Jeffersons, and Good Times.
It's really cool that you guys came up with 1970s shows, and Cody, you kind of did a hodgepodge. You kind of just did 70s with modern shows as well.
Yeah, like the shows that we talked about with the 60s, I love it when modern shows make the 70s almost a character of the television show.
Yeah.
Because I think that's when you see, like, not only subject matters that are big in the 70s, but, like, costume, hair, setting, like, props. Everything is just so specific and kind of beautiful. So I really like those types of shows.
There are tons of 70s shows out there that you can choose from. So I'm interested in what inspired you guys to choose those specific shows.
I specifically chose these shows because these are the shows I grew up on, and if you ask me about the 70s, these are my frame of reference.
Okay.
Right here.
I kind of like a hodgepodge,
Me too.
I think, because there's really good ones on Cody's list, and it feels not right leaving some of them off. So I think a hodgepodge would be a fun way to do the top 5 shows.
Alright, so go ahead and choose your top 3 shows from each of your lists, and then we'll just go around the table.
My top 3 probably have to be Dallas, Vinyl, and Saturday Night Live.
I'm going to go with The Brady Bunch, The Jeffersons, and The Muppet Show.
I will counter you with All in the Family, Charlie's Angels, and Good Times.
So I'm going to go ahead and add, for me, I'm going to take Fargo from your list and add it into the finals. But also I'm going to add in comedy Taxi as well into the mix. So we have 11 shows with 5 slots. So the first category we're going to go down is reality. Or sketch comedies, we should probably say. And so it's going to be The Muppets or Saturday Night Live.
They both have such good things going for them.
Because you have SNL that's so important to pop culture because of its commentary on what's going on, but then you have the Muppets who themselves have become such a huge part of pop culture and so iconic and just influential in every generation that has come since then. So it's like, it's 2 different levels of influence and 2 different levels of pop culture infiltration.
And
How
I
do you
guess the other
compare?
argument you can make is that for SNL it does well for the 70s, but also was there for the 70s, the 80s, and 90s, 2000s. But the Muppets that's it. Like they had the movies afterwards, sure, but their staple, their whole point were the 70s. Like that's where they thrived, and like anything afterwards is kind of like nice for them, but they pretty much represent themselves in the 70s. Alright, awesome. So Muppets across the board?
Muppets across the board.
Muppets on the list. Alright. So the next shows are 70s dramas. Charlie's Angels, Dallas.
Ooh, Who Shot JR?
Oh, man.
Yes, and for that reason alone, to me, it's Dallas.
Yeah.
That is just so iconic. People that don't know the show, don't know anything, know Who Shot JR. They don't know what it means. They know that sentence. They just know it.
So then the next category is modern dramas.
Okay, good.
It's gonna be Vinyl and Fargo.
Okay, so you have Fargo, which is the entire season is done now. We can see it all in full, and Vinyl's still only a few episodes in. I just think that I don't know, I'm going to go with Fargo season 2 because we've been able to see it all and see how the 70s are reflected in full in that season.
I'm also going to go with Fargo because if we're going with Dallas, we've seen 70s well. Let's see some 70s middle America.
Also true.
Alright, so then Fargo over Vinyl.
Yes.
Everybody's on board.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and so here's the tough one. So we have 3 shows for 5 slots, so you have 2 slots left for these 5 sitcoms. Good Times, All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Brady Bunch, Taxi.
Oh, I think the Brady Bunch and then either the Jeffersons or Good Times for those 2 slots. Because I think the Brady Bunch was so much about the 70s, but also it was a blended family and a family that had gone through divorce, and you didn't really see that often. And then
go ahead.
And then I'm just going to say The Jeffersons are Good Times again because it was another show that represented an underrepresented group in TV at that time.
I would make the argument for All in the Family and Good Times because All in the Family and the Jeffersons are pretty identical with each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
And while I trust me, I think Jeffersons, in my opinion, is one of the best 70s shows out there. It's just like when you compare that to All in the Family at its time, All in the Family was arguably the best 70s show there. Period. So the 5 shows we have for top 5 so far: Fargo, Muppets, Good Times, All in the Family, and Dallas. And so now it's time to rank them.
I hate this part.
I think that All in the Family, because if All in the Family was to put one of the most quintessential sitcoms and one of the most quintessential shows out of the 70s and had all those spin-offs off of it, then start off with All in the Family.
After All in the Family, go with Dallas. To me, Dallas is just that drama. It's still, from the 70s, style of the 70s, but it's just drama with wealth. And I just love it. It's like
Right.
it's like Bravo before they had Bravo.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
scripted.
The Real
so-
Housewives of Scripted Dallas.
Yeah.
Yes.
But would you rather have Good Times number 3 or the Muppets number 3?
I think Good Times is.
I think
Good
I
Times.
feel like-
I like the sitcoms or not the sitcoms, the scripted full-length shows all in one package, and then the variety show.
Although I would say what's really good about Good Times into Fargo is Fargo does bring up a lot of race relations with different characters.
and that does
too.
tie in with Good Times
And
too.
I think that's an interesting thing to see.
You could definitely break it up with the Muppets after Dallas because of the fact that it's very dramatic. You're like, all right, we'll go comedy with the Muppets. And then Good Times kind of, not blends, but has a lot of similar topics that they touch upon, maybe that in Fargo in a different way. But it's also has dynamite and funny moments and iconic things as well.
Actually, you know what? No, actually, here's... I take it back. I want my number 3 to be Good Times because by the time you get to number 4, the Muppets, when you have all those guest stars come on, you'll at least have a higher probability of knowing who they are.
Oh, that's a good call. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
now I'm thinking about I
Okay.
probably wanted to be last because it doesn't make sense to make Fargo before Muppets because
No.
it's Fargo.
No, we've all agreed.
No.
Fargo's last.
Yeah, Fargo's last.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
Muppets
Muppets number 4. All right, and so that's gonna be our top 5. We have the number 1 being All in the Family, number 2 being Dallas, 3 Good Times, number 4 The Muppet Show, and number 5 Fargo.
Dynamite!
Some of the best lines from Fargo.
Wow.
Wow.
It's better than if she had the go, who shut me up?
And everybody, that's our top 5 shows if you're from the 1970s. Make sure if you like what you saw, make sure you like the video and also subscribe to us. We have so many great things we do. We have all our YouTube videos over here. We have our podcast right over there, and then we have our live television show on Periscope every Wednesday as well. So we do a lot. Make sure you guys check us out. Otherwise than that, I'm Joseph Mwamba, that's Cody Bashia, that's Melissa Slaughter, that is Alex Petrolio. And thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Who actually did shoot JR?
It was some girl.
It's